Close your eyes, come to me, feel alright. Just dance with me all through the night, turn it out, close to you. I feel good, 'cause I just know feeling of you. Give it to me, baby. Feel alright. I feel good. Just want you step with me, dance with me, here with me, feel alright. I feel good on you, alright. To make a groove all night. Close your eyes, come to me, feel alright. Just dance with me all through the night, turn it out, close to you. I feel good, 'cause I just know feeling of you. Give it to me, baby. Feel alright. I feel good. Just walk your step with me, dance with me, here with me, feel alright. I feel good on you, alright. To make a groove all night. Feel alright. I feel good. Just want you step with me, dance with me, feel alright. I feel good on you, alright. Make a groove all night. Close your eyes, come to me. Close your eyes.
Hello. Hello, hello, hello. All right. So, little bit of a later start today, which is all right, not a big deal. At minimum, we got to finish one big panel. If we've got time, maybe we'll move on to the next page, but maybe we won't. That's okay too. So, get over here a little bit. I think I should turn this up a little bit, just a tiny bit. There we go. Oh man, I gotta sneeze. All right. So, we, as promised, I have a new playlist, which I need to turn down for myself a little bit. It's like super loud for me. There we go. I can barely even hear myself talk. And we all know that's what I love to do, is hear myself talk. Anyways, big panel today. That's gonna require some adjustments, some figuring stuff out. Just because I kind of eyeballed this perspective one, and I feel pretty good about it, but I know it's not totally right. And so I do want to make sure that's fixed. One of the big ones is, I think, taxi that's on here. It's also going to require a lot of layers. There's a lot going on. And so I think it's one of those things where I just got to focus and work and get stuff done. And that's what we're here to do today. We also have a little bit of a topic, which is how to feel about your art. And without further ado, we're just going to get into it. So this is the big panel today. And if you were here for the last stream, you would have seen this last page get done and these two. So we were pretty productive. Basically allowed ourselves to be able to start an hour later than normal if we really needed to. Not to say that I won't go like an extra hour if I need to. I totally will. Also, I need to adjust my mic, so give me 1 second while I do that. All right, there we go. I unplugged my mic by mistake. So we have this panel to work on. This one's a little bit of a tough one. I know right off the bat that the taxi is not properly in perspective. And I think it kind of like starts here-ish. I think it's totally messed up a little bit. I think it should be something like this. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. So our topic today is how to feel about your art. I still need to turn this down for myself a little bit, because it is quite loud. And that's not a, oh my god, why did it do that again? What is going on? It's not an easy topic because, it's not very straightforward. There's a lot of moments you can't just like stick to one thing. You can't just like stick with one mindset when talking about like how should I feel about my art. And there's a lot of things I'm talking about when I say feel. Like we're gonna dive into it a little bit. I think first what I want to do is kind of just set up a perspective grid really quick, and then just kind of like outline where some of this stuff is gonna go. So if I understand this correctly, we're gonna have a spot here. We're gonna have a spot somewhat here. I think this is how this works. I think. All right, it looks like it's thinking. So part of it is like good feelings, bad feelings, trying to work out whether or not, what is happening? Can you not do like 3-point perspective? Does it just like not interact or something? How does this all work? So you go this way suddenly. We can still make lines like this. The lines that way are messed up. Okay, let's try something different. I just feel like this isn't gonna work either way. You know what I mean? How's this gonna look? See, I can't make the lines in the direction that I want. So I'll be able to do that. I got those. I don't have like straight line down. It's a little confusing for me. Because I know for a fact that there's actually a lot here. Look, you got stuff going there. You got stuff going there. And here. You know? So I feel like this is the move. Yeah. Okay. And I've got it mostly, right? Mostly. Ooh. That's generally... Oh, that's all gonna go. We got that there. Got these buildings. We're gonna go a little bit higher. Maybe we can add some level of detail there that changes that up a little bit. These buildings as well. Damn, the sign's gotta be totally different, huh? So part of it is that I think you should feel your art, like you should be feeling yourself when you're making that stuff, you know? It's not, this is also gonna be a little bit different. We're just gonna pretend like it's gonna go up this way because it's a differently shaped building. We can't go that much farther there, but we do have some room here. All right. And then I think we just make another layer with the same type of thing. Because I think otherwise it gets really confusing for me. That's not right. Okay. It's supposed to go kind of like this. You should enjoy, like, the way your art feels. You should enjoy, especially while you're making it. Like, I cannot emphasize enough that, like, if you like the way it feels when you're making it, I think they made this all wrong. I think you'll enjoy the result a lot more. Because that doesn't seem right either. What am I thinking here? I think in general, it's just gotta kind of follow the lines of the buildings. Not what I drew. Because enjoying what you do, um, whether you believe it or not, it's gonna make your work so much better. It's gonna make it a lot better if you actually like what you're doing. Um, and that's super important. It's so important. It's so important to like what you do. Um, you have to like it to some extent, because otherwise, you lack that element that people talk about, which is like the human element, that soul in it. And it's a little hard to describe, but it certainly is real. Um, maybe an AI bro would tell you otherwise, but it's something that's vital to making things look and feel um, alive. And dang, this is so skewed. Let's make it that big, maybe. All right, and then I think we just kind of do something like this to kind of emphasize how far it's gonna go. Or let's just do it like this. Sorry, I'm a little focused on just getting this right here. The feeling you get when you make the art should be good, obviously, but there are times where it doesn't feel good. And that's also pretty natural. And like the times where it doesn't feel good, I think are the times where like you want to be strategic about how much you feel your art. And I'm not saying that throughout your process you should just like not feel anything. What I am saying is that you should take a look at what stage you're in. Because if you're in the sketch phase, like I don't really care what level of artist you are, you should be having fun. Because there's no stakes. It's literally just throwing ideas onto a piece of paper and just seeing what sticks, what you like, what you don't like. There's really nothing there where like no sketches really get shown around to people. So you should enjoy that process. But if you're in that part of your process where you're like, all right, I'm taking this a little bit further and I'm trying to push past the ugly phase, which a lot of art has that ugly phase to get to where you need to go, right? And so if you're in that phase, I think it's okay to be like, I'm gonna tune out a little bit and not try to like feel much when thinking about my art right now, because I need to just push past this. I know it looks ugly right now, but when I get to the other side of this, I'll have the foundation of what I need to make this look good, and then it'll start to look good. So if that truly affects you, then yeah, I think it's totally reasonable for a minute to just be like, I'm gonna check out. I'm not gonna give this a bunch of my emotional effort. And then I'll come back later to try to, attach some level of feeling to it. I think that's a smart way to like budget your emotions a little bit, not get too caught up in what is going on. Let's see, I gotta do one of these here. Just bring it up here. Not get too caught up in like what your art looks like right now. So you want to make sure that you're focusing your emotions at the right time. This is easier said than done too. Take some practice, and I think the hard part is just acknowledging when you're feeling the wrong way. When you're going like, oh, actually, like, I'm thinking too much about how I feel about this piece right now, and I'm in the ugly stage. I shouldn't be doing that right now. Let me figure out how many layers I need here. So 1, 2, 3 at the minimum there, but I think I would like to split up each. I think I'd want one for the ads. I think I'd want one, or what do I need one for each of the different sides? I don't think so. Let's do it anyways. Okay. And if you're one that constantly feels like, if you constantly feel good about your art and if you constantly feel bad about your art, you're missing something. You need a balance of both in order to keep it, I guess, like, keep yourself on the right track. You want to feel good about your art because obviously you need something to keep you motivated. You need to feel good making it, whether you just enjoy the process, even if you don't enjoy the outcome, or if you, I think if you enjoy the outcome more than the process, that's a different thing. But like, you probably want to focus more on the process and enjoying that part. But the actually, I need one for ads at the top. Let's move this one up. The the bad feelings are there to push you to do more. They're there so you go like, I am not 100% happy with where I am, and I want to go farther. The good feelings are there to keep you going, keep you happy with trying to push yourself, trying to get better. Excuse me. Ooh, that was a cute voice crack. And not trying to pivot away and do something different or give up. You need some good feelings about it. You need to feel good about your art. And you need to kind of go back and forth. I always talk about Hirohiko Araki and his process. And like, yeah, I am a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fan, but I think part of the reason why I talk about him so much is because he wrote a whole damn book on it that I read. And, you know, one thing he says is, after I draw a piece, even if it's really good, I try to forget about it. I try to move on. And it's because if he basks in the glory too long of like, I just made something beautiful, then the ego starts to take over and you don't care so much for the next piece. Or on the other side of it, you might care too much that now you've got to top that thing. And you don't always have to do that. You don't always have to make like the next best thing. And I think that's especially true if you're doing something like comics or manga, which he does. Because you're going to make a panel and you're going to be like, that panel was kind of just okay. I didn't put that much effort into it. It's all right. You know? And I think that's especially true when you make something crazy. I guess it was the previous page. I had a panel over here of this guy falling down the stairwell, or jumping down the stairwell. And it was a big piece, took a lot of time and stuff, and I liked that I put in all the effort. But in the end, I didn't love the character in it that much. And instead of dwelling on it, I just said, it's good enough to be in here. It's not horrible. You understand what you're looking at. I can move on and it'll be okay. And I just put it out of my mind. And the only reason it's even come up is because I'm having this conversation. So it's tough to always look at your art that way. But I think it is important to sometimes let go if you are always happy about your art. I think it's important for you to be like, not staring at your art, not looking at it all the time, and trying to make your ego overinflated. You know, because I think, especially once you start making a decent amount of art and you're pretty consistent at it, we all make something that we're like, dang, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I don't know how I did that, you know? Um, and you kind of bask in it a little longer than you need to. And again, that's all right. It's not that big of a deal. But if you get hung up on it, then you won't grow any farther. You'll see that as your baseline. It'll be a really tough baseline to... I think this is still too thick. I made the bumper way too thick. You'll see that as a really tough baseline, and you'll feel stuck. You won't feel like you can move forward. Because if you don't make something as good, then it basically crushes that ego that you've been building up for no reason. No reason at all. You were building it off of one minor success. Something that at that point you should be able to replicate, you know, if you really thought you were that good. And the truth is, sometimes we just get lucky. Artists sometimes just get lucky, and like maybe that thing that you struggled with, you accidentally found the solution to. With a funny little brush stroke that just so happened to be placed in the right place at the right time. And suddenly you made something cool. But if you're really upset because you can't replicate that, you might have been feeling too good about your art for no real reason. So I say there's a balance because you know, you want to train yourself not to value your art so highly that it is everything to you. Art should be a big part of your life, in my opinion, especially if you call yourself an artist. I think it should matter. It should matter. But what is important is that your value as an artist isn't necessarily based off of your skill every single time. You know, there's other value that you can put in and pull out of things. And if you are so focused on being a certain level of good, you're shooting yourself in the foot if you are doing that, and it's difficult to replicate that level. So feel good, don't feel too good. I'd say focus on feeling good when you're making it. When you're making it, if you focus on feeling good then, and then when you feel like you're looking at something and you hate it, that's when you might want to like turn your brain off for a second and like it feels like terrible to say, but like disassociate almost, where you're just like, this is not a reflection of me. This is just something that I'm working on. Temporarily, of course. Then I think you can actually get really good at enjoying the process and finding the right time to feel bad. And I'm not saying you should feel bad after you make the piece. Like, don't just like feel like a bummer, because you'll also kind of be like, oh, what was the point of doing all of that? And even to answer that question, the point is that you had fun. The time that you should feel bad, I guess, about your art, and I don't say like bad, like you should really hate what you just did or like all of that. I think it's that you should critique yourself a little bit. You should take the time to go, okay, so this wasn't perfect. And I always phrase it that way for myself. I would say I don't have a very fragile ego. I think I can take a good amount of hits. In fact, I have throughout my art career. I've been told a lot of stuff. But, and that's important if you ever want to work for people. Like, one of the biggest things that people say is, we don't want somebody with a big ego. You want to look at everything and be like, okay, what wasn't perfect? What could have been better? Because there always is something. There will always be something. Sorry, hold on 1 second. There will always be something that could have been better. And if you don't find that, you've got one of two issues. Again, that could be ego talking. But I think what's actually most likely is that you have a different level of ability compared to your knowledge of art fundamentals or art principles. And so this isn't something that you should feel good about when I say this, because it sounds like, oh, that's good. It's not good. Your skill set is higher than your understanding of the principles of art. And that should essentially never be true. You should always be studying and understanding the principles of art. And at a certain point, you will master them. And then it doesn't mean you stop practicing them, but it does mean that you don't really need to go read up on what perspective is. Once you really understand how it works, and it takes some time, right? It's easy to get the base level knowledge, but then it takes some time to fully master that, even just in your head and understanding it completely rather than just applying it. So if you can't see what is wrong with your artwork, what could have been done better, then you need to study up a little bit. And the only time this is not true is when you are essentially the cream of the crop, the professionals working in the field. You're making concept art for Magic the Gathering or something, and you're sought after. And the reason then is because I just realized some of these lines are not right. Some of these framework lines. We'll start here. I forget this is not Photoshop. The cream of the crop, and the reason why is because you are you're at the point where it's subjective, kind of. It just means that it's now dependent on the project. Maybe there is something regarding the style of the project that's a little bit different from what you just made. Yeah, see, it's supposed to go down, and it's kind of following the horizon line. I thought that was weird. Let's go here and there. So, then it becomes a subjective stylistic thing where it's oh, well, actually, to fit the style better, you might want to try increasing the size of the head, or you might want to try doing X, Y, and Z. So it's not that ever goes away, being able to find what was wrong, what could I have done better, because even professionals are doing this. So if you think you are above the level of professional, I don't know what to tell you. That might be ego or something, but that is the moment to feel bad. Is really take the time to fill the role of the art director or the art critic, whatever it might be, depending on what you do, and try your best to figure it out. And it doesn't mean that you have to know how to fix it. You might just be able to be okay, so the perspective doesn't feel right. I don't know what I did wrong, but it doesn't feel right. And that is okay. It's okay, especially if you don't have some kind of mentor, you don't have somebody to guide you through that process, to just be okay, so I know this is wrong, I just don't know how to fix it. Even that level of self-awareness is incredibly helpful, because you at least know what you kind of need to study, what you need to figure out. Being able to just point at something and be like, this is where I just don't know what to do. This is where I struggle. This is where I don't know how to fix things. Then at the very least, you can just try to find resources that'll support you. It's a tough balance too, because like I think this is something that most artists will struggle with, maybe forever. Because let's be real, in this day and age, the majority of us are not chemically balanced perfectly. We're dealing with our own chemical imbalances that work in different ways and stuff. And I say give yourself some grace, right? Because it is important to take care of yourself and stuff. But never, ever, 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 ever let that be an excuse. Don't ever let it be an excuse. It might be a reason for you to have not necessarily done the right thing, like the correct next step. But that shouldn't be an excuse to never go for it. Because if you, and like, I'm trying to say this in a very kind way, say this in a way that could address these people and not be so offensive, because I have friends that have, and family members that have all kinds of mental disabilities or mental illnesses that are really difficult to go through their everyday life. So they're like acknowledging that there is a barrier ahead of you that is in front of a normal neurotypical brain. That's the first step. But knowing that it is a barrier, not a jail cell, like that's what I'm trying to get at here, is that like it is harder for you to do the thing. It doesn't mean that you can't do the thing. That is what is important to acknowledge. And you might have to set up your own kind of process. You might have to take it at 0.8 speed rather than ×1 speed. That's okay. If you're like, okay, this thing that should take me a week is going to take me a week and 3 days, who cares? That's not that big a deal. But for you to go, well, I have autism, or I have depression, or I have ADHD, or I have OCD, or I have any list of things or combination of things, and then go, that's why I can't. That is one of the feel bads that you have to avoid. You cannot do that. You're essentially admitting defeat immediately, that you will never be able to do it. And the truth is that whether or not it is difficult to do that kind of stuff, nobody in the world's going to care. No one's going to care, and no one's going to look at your art and be like, oh, their perspective is off, but I still love it because it's that they have autism. That's why they can't learn perspective. It just will never work, because there are people with those same combinations of neurodiversity that can do it. And so taking the moment to like go, this is where I'm falling apart. This is where I'm not necessarily doing my best. But it's not a reason for me to not go for it. It's not a reason for me to try. It's going to be harder. It's going to take longer. But it's not so much so that it's not worth going for. That's what's important to remember. I think I'm going to turn off this, because as I'm looking at it, I think the perspective wouldn't make sense going for it the way I am. So I think it's actually going to be like this much. And I think it's kind of like this or something. It's a little tough for me to figure this one out. Okay. Starts about there to there. Okay. The most important part, I think, to take away is the feel good while you are making it. If you can do that, I'm telling you, you're already ahead of a big majority of beginner to intermediate, not immediate, artists. You really are. So many people just feel really bad when making their art. And I think that sucks. And I don't say that as a way of like pity. I've been there. I've been that person. And it sucks to feel that way. I need to turn this off because I can't really tell what the hell I'm doing. Feels slightly off. So let's adjust the best we can here. The perspective feels a little wrong. Can we turn it down a touch? Okay, all right. I don't think this is gonna end up perfect, but I think I want to get it somewhere in the ballpark. Yeah, I've been that person, and it sucks to feel that way. It sucks to not enjoy art. But if you can make yourself enjoy the process of it, you will actually, a lot of other stuff will become a lot easier. That's what I'm trying to say, is like so much stuff will actually become way easier if you can do that. Oh, I see what I was doing. I understand where I was coming from. But I think that means these have to be lowered a little bit, no? I don't think the windows are actually that tall. It's gotta go like that low. Which then means this has to go here. That was wrong, huh? All right. Yeah, so feeling is so important. Putting in that good feeling into the process, and I think subject matter too. This is not necessarily true if you're doing work for a company that you don't necessarily love. I think it's okay to just be like, I'm gonna put my skills to use here and that's it. I think it's fine. But if you're doing something personal, I think that's where it's like, I don't know, put some feeling into it, you know, like make sure you really enjoy what it is that you're doing, what you're making, you know. It's like, don't make cute little creatures to appease an audience that you think is out there. If what you like to do is little creepy things or something, or if you like drawing action scenes or something like that. Put some feeling into what it is that you like to do, and enjoy it that way. So really, maybe this should actually go on the I'm thinking. Maybe this should go on the details layer instead. But as I look at this more, the more I'm like, this isn't even in perspective. This needs to be like, I need this. This needs to be like here. I'm just confusing myself further and further by moving stuff around. Sorry. So yeah, putting some feeling into the stuff that you make, for that reason alone, is gonna make your art better. It's gonna resonate with people better. People are going to like it, and so think about that. And I think also, if you enjoy the process, looking at feedback, looking at what you need to do better, what needs to be practiced more, will be nothing. It'll feel like nothing, you know? It's like I'm going through here right now, and quite literally, anybody in the world could come here and watch me work on this, including a potential employer or something, and watch me struggle with the freaking perspective of this window. Even though the guide is right there, I should be looking at it right there. It's in my face. And regardless, I'm okay with like messing it up and then messing it up again and then being like, okay, now I fixed it because I like this process. I like going through it and working through it and figuring it out. And sure, I have some ruler lines to help me out a little bit, but a ruler isn't necessarily like the worst tool in the world to use. You know, I'm trying to be pretty smart about what I do use, what I don't use, and trying not to let everything that a digital tool could give me guide my entire process. Let's bring this back in. Nope, wrong layer. This back in, because I need to see where this starts. I'm gonna start it really thin, because I do want it to be thicker later. I don't know, did I do that right? Yeah, it looks fine. I should have started with a bigger brush, but it's okay. And then here as well? Yes. I guess I don't need to start that thin. Okay. There's a lot of things that I think I've said over the times I've been both streaming and just making videos about like what advice I would give to people. And I'm sure I've said a bunch of other stuff of like, if I were to say give one piece of advice to a beginner, this is what I would say. And I'm sure I've like said contrarian statements, but the guess contrarian's not the right word, but like hypocritical maybe. I don't know, where I've said one thing and then said the different thing later on. But like, yeah, enjoying the process is, my God, like how vital that is. I just like, I can't emphasize it because um I've said this before here and there, but I used to make digital paintings of like essentially hyper realistic portraits, like of people. Okay. And I used to get a lot of praise for those. Like people would be like, "You're really good at what you do. Like that's amazing that you're able to." And there was this like, I can even just like bring it in like super fast. There's this like gauntlet that I painted, like a knight's gauntlet, and essentially looks so real. And I did it as a study, working under a mentorship for Mike Lim or Darkin, who does like a lot of Magic the Gathering stuff. Let's see, I think I've got it somewhere in this portfolio. It's got to be in here somewhere. That's not it. That's not it either. Nope. Sorry, I'm trying to find it now. I don't see it. Where would I have put it? It wouldn't be here, right? That wouldn't make sense. Maybe it's not in here. Okay, I know where it where it is for sure. Or maybe not. Oh my goodness. So much stuff I've got in here. You would think it would be under the folder that says art, but I don't see it. Oh, maybe it's in here. Oh goodness. There it is. 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 Let's plop it right here. Bang. Okay. Actually, let's bring it up even higher so you can see the whole thing. Bang. Okay, so I did this. Must have been 2016. Nearly 10 years ago. Okay, I did this painting. All right, and I feel like, looking at it right now on OBS and stuff, looks like a photo almost, right? It looks pretty real. Like I think you can tell that like some of my lines are not the straightest, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And I can't tell you just how much I hated the process, man. I hated doing photorealistic stuff like this. I really, really, really hated it. And more specifically, I hated the portraits. Like, this one was not so bad compared to, like, the portraits of people. Because this one, I was basically forced to do it in a week. And really less than, because I had to do a painting like that, and then I had to do one of rocks, and then I think I had to do one of some other material. I don't remember what it was. But it was, like, torture to do the portraits of people because I would spend so long on them. I'd take like 2 weeks to work on them. And I don't know, I just like did not like that process. I dreaded coming to sit down and draw. And then once I started doing stuff that I was like, oh, I love doing this, then I think I got a lot better, a lot faster. And I think it's crazy for you to see something like this, like that Knight's Gauntlet, and be like, you did that 10 years ago, and this is what you're doing now. Because some of this is not so photorealistic. But I mean, again, the time that I spent on that stuff, it might have taken me less than a week, but it did take me maybe like 20 hours or something crazy to do that Knight's Gauntlet. Whereas like this took me maybe like 30 minutes. You know, so it's like, yeah, I'm not putting in as much effort or something, but it's because I've got, you know, like 100 panels, probably more in this comic. So I have to move quickly, I have to budget my time, and I have to think about stuff like that. And I like that so much more than what I was doing. I love it so much more. And that's like that makes or breaks um the process and like just the love of art for people. So if you don't enjoy what it is that you're doing, try something different. Really do try something different. Look at what it is that you like out there in the world that other people are making. Try to see if you can replicate some of that stuff. I will say that there's going to be stuff that you really like and you'll just never be able to make it. Not because you're not talented, but because when it comes down to it, you love the look of it, you're probably going to hate the process. You're probably going to hate the process like crazy. Like there's stuff that I see out there that I'm like, dang, like this is my vibe. This hits really good. I would love to have this in my house. Would I ever make this thing? Hell no, because I hate the process. That thing would kill me. I would never want to make art again if that was the case. So know that there's stuff like that. Know that it's not all like just because you like it that you would be able to do it. Because yeah, there is some stuff. Oh wait, I realized I changed the design on this a little bit. That just because you like it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to do it. And that's not a reflection on your skill necessarily. Sometimes that just means that like if you're dreading the process of trying it out and working on it and stuff, or sorry, not trying it out. If you're dreading the process of trying it out, you're probably just procrastinating. But if you're dreading the process of like working on stuff once you have a decent understanding of how it gets made, it's not for you. It's not for you. And it's just that simple. And maybe it's for you 20 years from now, but it's not for you right now. And that's okay. You can find some other media to work through. And I think that's what's so wonderful about art is that there's so many different ways that you can do it. You can do oils, you can do digital, you can do crochet, you can do all kinds of stuff. And just listing it out would be a waste of time because we all know that it's a huge amount. It's a huge amount. But yeah, I think there's something out there for everybody. You know, there's stuff out there for the people who are patient and like working on something for a very long time. There's stuff for people who maybe need to get stuff done a little faster in order to feel good about it. There's stuff for people who like to work in steps. You know, there's something out there for everyone. And so I think the most important feeling, if you take anything away, is to feel good about the process. That is insanely vital. I guess I'm already working on this building and this is on the other. We'll just get rid of these layers. We don't need them. We don't need them. We'll just keep working. What's the point? Work in less layers, they say, you know? So I will. That was kind of wrong. Did I mention this already? I made the playlist for the stream now, so I don't have to worry about some insane piece of music from video game soundtracks coming up. I do think one thing I want to work on more too is building design a little bit. I think it's something I just need to go out and practice in the real world, you know? He's so ugly in this panel, in this storyboard. He's so hideous. I didn't give him any love. What if I do something silly like this? I think I'll have to make a little line here that like kind of emphasizes that it's doing this weird thing. It's too far. Turn this off really quick. I think I know the solution. I think you gotta do it way earlier. It's too dramatic of a turn there. Okay, I think that's doing what I want it to. It'll make sense. It'll make sense. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Trust the process. Trust the process. I guess I won't erase too much around him because I don't actually know what he's gonna look like. So I'll leave it alone for now. Did I just erase? What did I do? I did erase. What am I doing erasing? Yeah, let's see. I think I've said pretty much a lot of the stuff I wanted to say about that. But I think there was one piece that I was missing. I'm trying to think of what it was. Oh, I mean, I guess one thing is, yeah. I think this is it. One thing is like, surely most artists got into art for one reason or another. And because there's so many of us out there in the world, surely they're different reasons, right? But I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. There are like a lot of reasons, but I think the majority of us actually kind of fall in the same bucket, you know? I think that there's several reasons for everybody, but I think most of us had a little bit of a passion for it. Okay, undeniable. I don't know if all of us had a huge, deep passion for art to start out. Maybe we do now, but when we started out, I don't know if we did. You know, I don't know that like all of us were 5-year-olds in a museum going like, whoa, I'm so passionate about this thing. You know, and I'm not thinking about the video game that I'm going to play today, or like what my friend said in school that was so funny, or that I'm hungry, you know. But I think over time we mature, we start feeling that a little stronger. And this Liza P track is like one of my favorites. It's so good. Oh, that's nice. Anyways, I think I think that a lot of us got into making art because we wanted to be a little different. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I did that. I know I had that mentality. Okay? Um and I think like if that is true for you, I think there's two things to acknowledge. I think A, being an artist alone doesn't make you a little different. Like, chances are you probably have friends that are artists too. So, like, I don't know, that's not too unique. And certainly, most of my friends, they might look at me and be like, yeah, that friend of mine is an artist. I also have 2 other friends that are artists. That's not that unique. I think that there's importance in like going back to that root a little bit, but also like acknowledging what's different, what the reality is, and not just being like going back to the roots is the right thing to do every time, because it's not. It's not. Okay, so like if you did that to be different, I think acknowledge that being an artist alone is not that different. But if you are passionate about that, find what makes you different. Figure that out. Try some stuff out that could differentiate you from other people, you know? And a lot of people are going to default to like, oh, that person's style is so unique. Sure, that can be it. That totally can be it. But that's not it. Sometimes it's your process. Sometimes it's your topics, or like what it is that you're creating art about. That might be what makes you unique. Okay? So if you're going back to the roots, I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. But I think the other thing is we matured since we were 5 years old, and we might still have those feelings of insecurity about wanting to feel different and wanting to be unique, and we just being an artist isn't enough for that anymore. We know that. So what else? What is the other reason you might be an artist? I think if you are passionate enough about wanting to do something and you want it to be a part of your identity, I don't think one reason is enough for you to want to be that. I think you should have paragraphs worth. That you actually might struggle to boil it down to an elevator pitch. Okay? I think that there should be several reasons that you are an artist. And like one of them is because I want to be unique. But that's no longer number one. Hasn't been for a long time. One of them is that I just want to express myself. I want to get myself out there. I want to tell people what I'm thinking in a beautiful way. Okay. Another thing is now that I have found that I enjoy the process, I just like doing it. I just love doing it. I love doing it. And if I got to do it every day and get paid, I wouldn't even be working. I wouldn't work a day in my life if that's what I was doing. Actually, I think this was that unique building that kind of stuck out. We'll come back to that one and the details. Um, Another reason is because my brother was a hobbyist, a graphic designer, but a graphic designer nonetheless, and an artist. And my mom was a bit of an artist, and that's neither one of them were so masterful in their craft. They were hobbyists. They did it as a hobby. They never did it as a job. Um, and I don't know that my mother ever studied art. I think she just liked to draw, would do it in her free time, and tried to get something out of it. I think my brother followed in her footsteps, studied a little bit of graphic design. Okay? And I wanted to do the same thing. I think this is wrong. Can you show me where you go? All right. I wanted to follow in their footsteps because as a kid, I was the youngest, and I wanted to be just like my big brother and just like my mom, and I wanted them to be proud of me, which is a very common young child thing to do, like a youngest sibling thing to do. But I think even if you're an only child, you want to do stuff that your parents did too. Like I remember having a cousin whose mom had gone through some hardship in her life, nothing crazy or anything like that, but wasn't able to like study and go to college, and so she made a living cleaning houses. That's what she did, and her and her husband have made a good living off of what they do, and have a wonderful family and stuff, and so that they were fortunate enough to also just make something like that work, and that's awesome. And I remember one of her daughters as a child would say like, oh, I want to clean houses like my mom, because she looked up to her mom, and that's a sweet thought. And we were always like, that's really sweet of you to say, but you should pursue something greater. You should try something bigger than that, because your mom doesn't clean houses because she loves to clean houses. Your mom cleans houses because that's what she does to survive, and she does it for you. And so sometimes that's not always the best thing, but in my case, it was being an artist. Okay. And again, they never really studied art. Okay, so it's not like they were all that good. All right, they weren't the worst or anything like that. But I think it's really fair to say that at this point, I am better than both of them. My brother hasn't been around for almost 8 years now. Over 8 years now. And so, who knows what would have happened if he actually was around. That's not... I don't really do what ifs, but where he left us, his skill level, I've already passed that. And I've passed that of my mom. Again, because my mom works and does other stuff and doesn't really draw consistently. That's not... It is like a bit of a hobby for her, but it's not like this big thing that like is a big motivator in her life. Okay, she just kind of does it here and there. So all that being said, okay, there was a level of wanting to be like my family and wanting to be accepted and wanting to fulfill that. I'm an adult now, so I think the truth is also that like I do love my family, I'm fortunate enough to have family members that I care about and love, but also I don't need their recognition or their I don't need them to say that they're proud of me. I think I'm beyond that point. Um, I don't really need. What the hell? Hello. Um, I don't need that, right? Let's do this, and then I think we do it here as well. Wow. So where would you go? Okay, well that's cool, I guess. Can we move you down, I guess? Maybe like right here. So I don't really need that, but I think there's a level of me that says like, okay, so neither of them were particularly successful doing those things. I think it would be nice to be good at it, successful in some level, and allow them to feel like none of like those efforts didn't go to waste. Their time spent drawing and practicing and designing didn't go to waste, because at the very least I took a lot of inspiration from them and put it into something like this, or like a real job. I've gotten a real job doing graphic design and illustration because of that. And so I think being able to do something like that is really nice. I like the idea of that. So there's ways that those old childlike motivations evolve. They've changed over time. And I think it's important to kind of consider, like, how do yours change over time? How have they evolved? Because like that story is deeply personal to me, and it's possible that there are people out there with a similar story and stuff, but like chances are it's probably not you, and you've got something totally different. Or even if that did happen to you, maybe it's not, you don't feel that as deeply emotionally as I do. Maybe there's something else for you. Maybe that motivation as a kid wasn't as strong for you as it was for me. So much of art is emotional as much as it is objective, as much as it is subjective. I think subjective and emotional are two different things. But really, really take some time to consider what it is that you feel when it comes to it, and that pushes you, that motivates you. It's important. I highly recommend that, like, I say this, and I'm being totally honest here. I don't have any friends that are really close to me that are also artists. Closest thing I have is I have like my two best friends. One of them's a musician, and one of them is a filmmaker slash comedian. And so like they kind of understand some levels of the art process. But what I was gonna say is, like, if you have artist friends that you can you feel comfortable talking to on a deep emotional level, talk to them about it. Really, really talk to them about it. And ask them the same questions, because I think part of what makes it so, what helps you find yourself a little bit is saying it out loud. And, even though I've been thinking about this topic, there are things that I'm saying even now that I'm like, yeah, I hadn't really even thought about it that way until I said it out loud, until I asked myself the question and then went, what is my answer? So talk about it. Talk about it, and I say talk about it with friends. Let's go right there. Okay. Are we missing anything? I think maybe some windows and stuff. But I think that's mostly it. There's a little puddle over here that I didn't draw. Gotta back up a little bit with my hand, or move it up a little bit. That's what I'll do. Yeah, I mean, like, I think especially with the way that social media is with art, there's just like an abundance of talking about like commodification of art and like marketing your art, and like, is your art something that can sell? Is it something that people want to buy? Is it something that people want to see somewhere? Man, we're all emotional beings, whether we like it or not, and so also, like, think about it that way, man. Like, if it makes you feel something, it's gonna make someone else feel something, you know and maybe there's some difference to how you present it. Okay, maybe there's some skills there that are applicable and necessary. Sure, I won't deny that um that those types of videos, those types of advice are not helpful at all. I won't say that, but what I will say is that it's not the most important thing. It's not the most important thing. We're emotional beings at the end of the day. We function like it. And there are people who will feel stuff and resonate with things, and that is good enough. That is good enough. I've been doing these art markets too, and I've mentioned this before. I haven't been doing that well. I've not been doing super well. There's a lot of factors at play, I think, because let's do it from here. There's levels of like, oh, the economy's not great or whatever, and all that stuff. And I'm just starting out, so it's not like I have the most beautiful booth design or anything. But there is there's a tiny bit of sales. Okay. The reason I mention that is because one of the ones that stuck with me a lot is that somebody bought a piece of mine, And it was a different kind of piece because it was still made the same way, but there was like no text on it at all. It didn't say anything. And a lot of my pieces have text. I love working with typography. Um, but the guy, spent a lot of time actually looking at my artwork, and that I think it's honestly it's rare. It's rare that people do that. Some people just kind of glance around or whatever, but this guy actually spent a lot of time looking at the artwork and stuff. And he like held this one for a while, and I could kind of tell that when he was like looking, I was like, this guy's probably gonna buy something actually. Like, that's cool. And he got it, and he was like, man, something about this piece, it's like saying something to me. It's like speaking to me. And I was like, dude, that's cool. I love that. Thank you so much, And I didn't really say much more, and I kind of wish I had spoken to him a little bit more, but I just like, I don't know, I was maybe taken aback a little bit. I was like, oh, I did not expect that at all. And like, again, even somebody like me who has like a measly 200 subscribers, which again is probably the biggest audience I have on any platform ever. Like, maybe I have more friends on Facebook or something, but like, come on, who's really using that besides like, never mind. But even somebody like me who's like the smallest of small fries, I can do something like that, and it'll resonate with somebody, and it'll be meaningful to that person, and that's awesome, man. I love that. And so to bring it all back, feeling, right? I felt something making that piece myself. I do when I make my art. I made somebody else feel something like that. Even though this type of artwork is not this here, but like what I had made is not really considered marketable. It's not really considered high value. It's not really considered to be like lucrative. Okay, but somebody bought it, somebody liked it, somebody resonated with it. And it's probably up in their apartment or home or whatever. I don't really care where, but they like it enough that they bought it. They liked it enough that they said something. And I think that's enough to like give me further purpose, It's like that. There's another reason to become an artist, to make somebody feel what I felt when I made that piece. And I don't know if he felt the same thing, man. Maybe he felt something totally different. I didn't ask, but small things like that, man. Small things like that, you got to keep yourself motivated as an artist. And I think feeling is such a huge part of it all. It's such a huge part of it all. It's I think that's kind of what doesn't bother me so much about like AI art and stuff existing is like, I don't know, art to me is it's never been about making something pretty. It's never been about making something pretty. A lot of the times it's not pretty, man. Even the AI art that's meant to be pretty. I mean, a lot of us, I think, go and be like, that's not that pretty, man. That's kind of ugly, And we do that about our own art, and we do that about other people's art. Sometimes we look at other people's art and go, that's kind of ugly, dude. We're all guilty of that because we're all humans. We all judge people. You can't help it. But the artist in me isn't about that. It's like, I want to make you feel something. And I remember when I first met that musician best friend of mine, I was a little bit more about praise, I think. Because, I was like, man, I want people to like my art, man. I want people to like my art and I want to hear that people like my art, which is, I think, a really common feeling. It's not unusual. But I remember when he put out music, or like he put out an album by himself that I helped him like put together and stuff. Like I made the album cover and stuff. You know, he said something to me and it kind of changed my perspective a little bit, but he was like, I I just hope people say something about it. He was like, I don't care if they shit on it and they say it's the worst thing they've ever heard. I want to hear that. I want to hear it. I want to know that people have an opinion and that they felt something about it. And I was like, that's genius, man. It's like negative emotions are just as valuable, man. They really are. And it's like, obviously you don't want to have your life just filled with negative emotions, but yeah, I mean, making somebody feel a negative emotion is still that kind of like cause of like feeling. So lots of ways to look at it, man. Lots of ways to look at it. All right. Hi, kitty. What's up? Been sleeping all day, huh? All right. So I have some of the basic stuff here. I think I'm going to slow down on my rant a little bit, get drawing a bit more, because I do want to finish this today. And at this rate, I'm not going to. I've been talking so much and not getting stuff done. So let's get stuff done. That doesn't mean I won't talk. I'm just saying I need to stop talking and like simultaneously stop drawing when I'm talking. I need to focus a lot on the drawing. Stop for a second. Oops, wrong. It's not right. Okay. All right. I think one thing I'm also thinking about, this is totally unrelated to what I was saying earlier. I was thinking about like restreaming to other platforms. I haven't really thought too much about doing all of that. Well, I have, but I've not like actually researched it too much, or I don't know if it's worth it or not. I think long term YouTube's great, but I don't know. I don't know that Discovery's that much better anywhere else, but Discovery isn't like amazing here. I think it's just nice because it does notify my subscribers, which does increase. Very, very slowly over time. Okay. Okay. Sorry, yeah. Suddenly it's quiet, you know, because we're locked in, we're focused. Oh, I just figure like you know, I haven't had anybody pop in for quite a while. And so I think you know, obviously it's still always important to talk and say stuff and all that good stuff, but the the point is to get this done, not necessarily to be the most um I guess be the best streamer there ever was, the best art streamer there ever was. So I may as well just keep doing what I'm doing and focus more on the art than on the topic. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic about it or anything like that. I think it's like I had my time to talk about the topic, and now it's my time to draw a little bit more. And I might like think about more stuff and pivot back over to the topic a little bit more, but I just got to get this done. I got to get this done. You know, I gave myself such a good head start yesterday. It would be such a shame to like squander it. And I think I already kind of have a little bit, but it's not like beyond saving, you know. It's just that I started late today and for like an hour didn't get a whole lot done. So I want to make up for that a little bit. Alrighty. Alright. Oh, the hand. Totally missed the hand there. Okay. Cool. Alrighty. Let's erase the parts of the background that are overlapping. I don't know why I'm doing it that way. Oh, that's part of him. Alright. There is a little part that needs to go up farther, I think. Yep. All right. I heard that Lies of P2 is in development. That's super exciting. I love that game, man. Love that game. And it looks like maybe, at least based off of the ending cutscene of Lies of P, maybe it's like the Wizard of Oz or like the something to do with Dorothy. So that's cool. I spent time in Kansas, so I used to hear, "You're not in Kansas anymore," whenever I talk about it, and it's like, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me about the Wizard of Oz. Okay. I think all we're really missing is like the detail on the ads. Oh, I missed something here. What a fool I am. Just want to make sure the sidewalk's all matching up where it needs to. Let's turn this off. It's a little easier to digest if I'm not looking at all that. And this is not closed off either. I think it might be nice to have some clouds that kind of like billow over here. Maybe just go big. Okay. Let's get into the ads. Everybody's favorite ads. Oops. I think you would kind of want them actually like looking a little bit more somber, because this is kind of like an insult ad, and I want them to not look like such a cool looking equestrian creature. I want him to kind of look a little shaggy, and I mean, he's a donkey, not a horse. I gotta do this differently. What is... I don't know what I did here. I don't know what this is supposed to look like. I'm gonna ignore it. I think maybe what I want, turn these off, is like hooves. Which way would the hooves be if they're like this and you turn them in? It's gonna be like this. I don't love this. I think what you gotta do is like kind of like, I'm just gonna get a little messy with the sketch here. Let's also maybe pull up really quick, like a donkey hoof. It looks like it would actually kind of like finish a little earlier like that. And this would be like maybe here. Oops, not so much here. Let's see, taking a look at another donkey here. Oops. Okay, so all that being said, we can what if actually instead of showing it that way, we kind of do something like this? Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna delete everything on this layer real quick. I think it's better to just put, like, the ad would focus so much more on the hoof itself. The problem is the hoof. That's what you're trying to fix, right? So I think just being like, and I think also that would help my own audience kind of understand what it is that the company does. Let's go back to what I was looking at before. So it's not totally shaped like this. It's actually shaped more like this. They kind of have a heel. And then they have this, and it kind of sticks up like this a little bit. Heels kind of gotta go like this a little bit. And then this is not really a thing for donkeys. I think it's really just more like some texture. And this is why it's important to look at references, you know? People say, like, don't look at references. I don't know. I feel like people don't say that often anymore, because I think we all know that they're, like, idiots and they don't know what they're talking about. You have to look at references in order to be able to understand what it is that you're doing. This is also not quite in the right spot. It's gonna be, like, more over here. Something like this. Yeah, I think this makes more sense than what I was doing before. And then let's just delete that. We'll redraw this section here. I'm pretty happy with the music choice now, man. I'm so much happier with Liza P soundtrack, because it's not getting me in trouble. It's actually good music that fits pretty well, I think. So, can't believe I didn't think about it before. Once I've gotten rid of all the like boss music, whew, it's so good. It's a good playlist. Alright. So let's make it thicker, huh? Let's go thinner since it's on the inside. I want to start on this side, maybe. What does that look like? I think I should retry that. I should retry it. This part bothers me a little bit. I guess I should also not have it be so thin towards the front. Like, yeah, this is like not. This part needs to be thinner. But it needs to like quickly pivot away from being so thin. Right? Or am I crazy? I think also this line is not that good. Let's adjust what we have here. Oh, this is just the intro. It's all good. I was like, is this song too crazy? It's not that bad. Maybe it's a little rough following the previous song, but I don't know. What did I do over here? Why does this feel... I think that's why. Yeah, because I'm like, this shape feels wrong, man. And I was like, I didn't think it felt that wrong before. And I think also maybe like this is like curving so strongly and it doesn't really need to. Why it feels so awkward. No? Yes? Maybe? Yeah. We start this over a little bit. And then I think we can just kind of... What am I doing? Alright. Do something like that. I think that's okay. I think it's okay. We don't need to go too crazy on this. What other ads do we have? Wrong layer. We do have like a circle. No, we have a logo we have to bring in. I have to find it. I have a black and white one, right? I hope so. Maybe it's under here. Sorted. Assets. I have a white one only. See if we can just bring it in here. Where'd it go? Oh, it's over here. Ah! Why can't I move it? I can't move it at all. Oh my god, this is getting really frustrating. Okay. It's gonna be like really... Okay. Let's undo that. Let's undo that. It's getting a little annoying. Gonna go about there. Gonna fit this really weird perspective. But why are you also just like squished to hell? I want that perspective, I just don't want to squish it like that. Oh my god, that's so annoying. I need to turn this off. Can I? Oh, let's apply it, I guess, and see. Let's make it nice and small. Hit OK first, then we do this. Okay. This is really hard to see it anywhere else, you know? I'm not working on it. I think that makes sense. I think I'm gonna leave it. I don't think it's worth putting in all that effort. Okay. I'm gonna pull up my reference for this ad. Where? That would be here. That would be here. That would be here. There. How many subdivisions do I have? More than you think. More than you think. Okay. Bring that right here. Okay. No, not there. Here. Alright, we might be heading out of the Lies of P soundtrack here soon. I think this finger is messed up. Oh, my tour box is messed up again. Just give it a second, it'll fix itself. I'm just trying to select something. Because I can do that really quick. Make the fingers a little bit longer. bring this over here. Then you... All right. You working again? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Let's fix these mistakes really quick now. I think this could kind of go knuckle is here. Knuckle is here. And then the wrist still feels kind of small, no? I think that's okay. So now what we do, shrink it down a tiny bit. Doesn't need to be that big. And then perspective a little bit. Let's go back. Nope. Nope. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why can't I move you? What's going on? Go to free transform. Just a bit. Okay. I'm alright with that. Let's also flip this whole thing. Take a look at it this way. Wow, he looks hideous. He still looks hideous and I didn't fix that, did I? I think the rest of it looks okay though. Maybe this is a little bit big. Alright, let's try to fix his hideous face. I think part of it is that maybe the mouth is too big and the forehead is really small. Let's go this way. Okay. Oops, too big of an eraser there. Hair also kind of needs to go the other direction a little bit. Needs to be like this. I feel like you get used to seeing something ugly going like, oh yeah, I'll fix it later, and then you just like get used to it, you don't fix it. Maybe the brow is also too high up. You know? There we go. Ear seems too big, too. There. Go to the background here, make sure we fill this in. Okay, I feel a little better about him now. I think the rest of it's okay. There's one more ad, right? I think. Oops, wrong. Yeah, so there is this one here. I don't remember what I was trying to get at here. But I think I can just do whatever I want. Okay, we'll leave that. Let's get started on the details here. I think the easy one is just move on to him really quick. Oh, I never fixed his whole collar thing. There we go. Now it's fixed. Cool. Okay. think now that's the end of the Lies of P soundtrack. Got a few Bloodborne tracks, a few random tracks from other places, but we'll go through a few different games here and there. Just some tracks that I've enjoyed, thought weren't too crazy to put on. And then we kind of get back into the Subnautica soundtrack. And I know I had some issues with it before, but I think it was mostly just like there were some tracks that would like start out pretty calm and then they kind of go crazy. I kind of wasn't trying to deal with that. So I just didn't include those this time around. Okay. There's that. Oops. Get rid of this really quick. All right. I think that's the only thing I needed that for. Come back to that. Anything that's gonna have to do with straight lines, I'm gonna avoid really quick, just because the using the perspective ruler or whatever, the parallel line ruler, I think will be a lot easier. So I do some stuff like this to imply that there's like some other language going on here. Actually, I think I want to erase this here. We can do that. Do this. Do a better free transform here. Yeah. All right. Maybe we can get a different brush here for this. What do you look like? I think maybe we just match the vibe on this. Cool. All right. Just trying to create like a vibe for a downtown kind of pop-in area that's got a lot going for it, you know. You can do like little circles over the top. I think I'm okay with this one taking more than one stream. I kind of want to put a lot of love into it. You know? Oops. Whew, okay. I still just realized I still have my reference up over here. I don't need that. I need to move a tiny bit. There. There we go. So I wanted to do something here where this was a little bit taller. And I could just kind of do one of these. It'll kind of be the same color as the sky. Yeah, cool. Can I get rid of that? See how that's looking? Okay, I think I'm okay with that. I think this just needs to be darker. Yeah. Cool. Wrong layer. I'm gonna hit save really quick. Just let the save try to get that not to ever be destroyed, I guess. My computer has been known to randomly crash. It doesn't happen that often. It just suddenly decides I'm gonna turn off. It, like instantly, no warning. It's just like I'm gonna do it. Here goes. Oh man. Okay. Looks like it's about done here. Wait. Oh, you're telling me I did that all in the background? I did that all in the wrong layer? No way I did that all in the wrong layer. Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a quick break, okay? Okay, we're back. We're back. It looks like I'm not back. I am back. It's funny to say I'm back and then to come on camera and there's nobody there. Like that one guy who had a stream and something happened to him and then he had a podcast and then something happened to him and they started the stream and they just showed an empty chair. I don't know if I would have done that, but okay, so now I gotta freaking cut all this stuff out that I just did, which is really annoying. I can't believe I keep doing this, man. I keep doing this. Keep doing this to myself, man, and it's wait, that was wrong. Huh? Maybe what I should be doing, is there a way that you could draw in one color on a layer and then a different color on a layer, but then when you're finished, it's like, what do you call it? It just kind of like defaults to black. I don't know, dude, because like I need something like that to like visually tell me you're on the wrong layer, you're drawing the wrong thing. Because I have to come back in here and do all this stuff, and this is annoying. This is the worst. I hate it. I hate it. Okay. So dramatic, huh? I just imagine that this music was composed for this very moment. This tragic moment where I've messed up. Oh well. Yeah, well. How sad. How sad that this has happened to me. Me of all people, how could this have come to pass, man? Life is cruel. Anyways, we're almost done. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Oh, almost forgot you. Almost forgot you cuties up here. Yep, now we're back. We're back into the Subnautica. I love that change though. That kind of felt good, did it not? Did it not? That like transition between those songs? Felt pretty good. So sad that the world will never see that. Selected layers. Okay, we're back. We're in business, man. We're in business again. No way I couldn't paste it in. Oh, I did. Okay. Hold on. Turn you back up. We cut you now. We paste you now. We merge you now. We're good. Now we're good. Now we're good. Now we're back. We're so back. Okay. Let's get some cloud detail in here. I'm gonna use some of the stuff that I learned from the that like steam that I did on that one panel recently. Try to apply it here if I can. This time without the reference. Just doing it by memory. All right. The other day, I read up to, not all in like one day, but I got caught up to the Phantom Island of Zoe in One Piece. I've been reading it. I've not been watching it because I have a friend who's been watching it for a lot longer than me, like years, man. I've probably only been reading it for about a year. Okay, on and off, on and off, and he's probably been watching it for like, let's see here, at least like 7 years, I think, maybe longer, maybe longer. Oh, hold on. I'm getting a call here. Give me a second. Okay, so sorry. I know taking 2 breaks in a row like that is just such a crime with such an huge audience, you know? Oh well. Oh well, I am actually here, sorry. I keep forgetting I've brought my camera a little closer to me while I'm drawing. So I am overworking a lot, while also simultaneously not working enough. So what I'm gonna do I'm gonna keep working on this for about 10 more minutes. Okay. I'm gonna end stream. I'm just gonna accept that today was not the most productive day. But also that, like, I don't know, I like talking, and I still got some stuff done. I think I figured out some of the tough parts of this, and now I just gotta detail it, and I think tomorrow I'll be able to stream a little bit better and get all this shit done. Well, actually, I don't even know if I'll stream tomorrow. That's a good question. That's a big maybe. That's a big maybe. I want to, but I might be doing something else. So, because I got some stuff in the morning, and then beyond that point, I don't know if that means I'll have more stuff to do. So, what I will do is just play by ear. Nobody's dying to have me here anyways, you know. I don't gotta pretend. That's just kind of the reality of it. It's at my own pace. It's at my own pace and nothing more. But I will say ending on the clouds, because I actually really like doing these like swirly clouds. This might be too much to be real, and I'll come back to it. I won't work on erasing it right now, but it might be too much for a cloud and not like steam or something. But I think it's okay. I'll decide when I come back to it if I need to redo it or erase it or whatever. But for now, I'm just gonna have fun doing it. Because I do like this like type of texturing. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And I feel like even if you do it wrong, like maybe it shouldn't be that swirly or something. I think it's okay. I think you still make something that looks cool. It just maybe doesn't look like what you wanted it to look like. Yeah, okay, I will probably erase that later, but I'll just kind of keep going for now. I gotta keep in mind, I don't, like, more doesn't necessarily make it better. Sometimes it's just a little bit goes a long way, you know? Ooh, that was kind of not what I wanted it to be. All right. What if we close this line? That would be sick. Okay. Got about 5 minutes left before I'm gonna dip out. Cool. I think like part of what I need to figure out about clouds, because I think smoke is a little bit easier for me, is that clouds have a different kind of structure. And maybe that's something I need to focus on. A lot of stuff to focus on, but I am spending a lot of time drawing this comic, so it makes it a little bit difficult to study right now. I am also just making an excuse a little bit. It is a little bit of an excuse, a little bit of a reason, but I can study more. I totally can. All right. I'm gonna leave it here. This is what we've done today. Got a lot more work to do on it. A lot more. That's okay. We got the bones in place. We're actually just kind of doing most of the fun part right now, so all good, all good. Not a big deal. But maybe live tomorrow, maybe live Wednesday. Who knows? Who knows? But I have enjoyed being here. Let me bring you over here. What's going on? I heading out. We'll try next time to stream on time, because I think I could have maybe gotten close to finishing it if I had started on time, but I didn't, and that's okay. So, with that being said, thank you so much for watching, Nibblings. I will see you later. I've got some videos that are coming out, so check those out. Mostly shorts, but I do have a full-length video coming out soon, and one that came out not that long ago, so check it out if you haven't. And consider subscribing, and I will talk to you later. See ya!